All right, thanks for being on with us in October. We skipped September. I was just kind of remembering, so we've had a little time to miss each other and really look forward to being together. So we've got a lot of fun sharing going on tonight. I'm going to toss it right over to Melissa, who's going to do the product of the month highlight for us.
Okay, guys, I just wanted to say it was a fun month in September with so much new stuff. I just have to do my tiny little recap. And I wanted to say congratulations to Kelly Keating for 2 enrollments, not 1, but 2. That's what happens when you go to convention. You become an enrolling beast. And Laura Shields, congratulations on your enrollment. So great job, guys. So I wanted to talk to you about the product of the month, which is balsam fir. And I think it was just really awesome that Amy asked me to speak about a fir oil because, you know, I'm all about the woods, right? So I went back to my Jessica Jacob Travis Level Up notes. That's the group that I pay to be part of, and I just wanted to give you just a little like 10,000 square foot overview because I think there's a lot that we don't know about balsam fir. So it's like the description is refreshing, clean, airy. It conjures up images of forests covered in crisp, freshly fallen snow, cozy holiday gatherings, right? So it's in 3 blends. I bet you didn't know that. And if we had more time and we wanted to be together all evening, I'd have you try to guess. But it's in Northern Escape, the Steady Grounding Blend, and in Amavi, a limited time fortifying blend. And that's actually, I think, still under special purchases like LTOs in the back office, I think. So I want to talk to you about why this is such an incredible oil. So in the balsam fir is alpha and beta pinene. So this is like incredible to have as primary constituents. So like those other conifers, cypress, spruce, and the other firs, they all have pinene, but they don't have the amount that you have in balsam fir. So it's like the king of the conifers. Okay. I looked at 2 studies. One is called the composition and antibacterial activity of balsam fir essential oil. I sound a little bit like Jerry, getting a little sciencey here. So what they realized, it has super powerful antibacterial activity. It's like stronger, it's more strong against staph than E. coli. So I can say this in this group. I wouldn't say this in our Fierce Oiler group, but it's unheard of to have an oil that is this powerful against staph. So don't hesitate to use it on staph. And again, Jessica said this, and I totally agree with her. Go to your doctor, get your culture. If you've got that funky wound, get your culture, get your diagnosis, and then come home and use your powerful oils because you're armed, empowered, and ready. And you do have other oils you can use against MRSA and staph. Does anybody remember that we already talked about this oil tonight? And it's rose. And maybe On Guard and other oils, but it is one to definitely keep in your arsenal when somebody's got something funky going on. The second study is the cancer study. It's an anti-tumoral. I bet you didn't know that. It actually kills, in this study, it killed cancer cells. So of course, like I was talking about the antibacterial qualities, of course, as far as like cytotoxic properties, there are other oils that we have in our arsenal that would work, but balsam fir is really great at this. So she said like copaiba and frank are very powerful in anti-tumor that category, but she said she would use all 3. So copaiba, frank, and balsam fir. So then she talked a little bit about like how it's a powerful anti-inflammatory and analgesic. She said you can't beat a tree oil, especially a fir oil, when it comes to pain. So she said, think about copaiba is from a tree, right? And the resin of frankincense. So she said, it's especially great for joints that are stiff and painful. And she wanted to call out specifically frozen shoulder. Okay, just saying. And we all know that frozen shoulder is actually emotionally like anger. But it's great for pain relief. It's an anti-rheumatic, it's antifungal. Let's just talk as we're going into winter about respiratory issues of balsam fir, like what it helps with: sinus, bronchial. It helps open up those airways. You're using a nebulizer, put a drop of it in there. Okay. Add it to your blend so if you have a breathe touch, add a drop of balsam fir. It's super for diffusing and topical application for respiratory issues. And I have to tell you, make sure you dilute it if you're using it topically. So when I say it has a mucolytic effect, most of you know that means it breaks up mucus, but not in the way you're thinking about it. So not just in your upper respiratory areas, but in your heart and your arteries where your plaque forms. So make a roller of it and roll it over your heart. Okay. It's super for seizures and epilepsy. I'm sorry, Amy. I know I just have to go because I think this is so good. It's neuroprotective and it has anti-seizure benefits because of the pinene. So what happens is oxidation in your brain is what triggers abnormal electrical activity. I was thinking of Atlas, Amy. So when you have decreased oxidation, you use the balsam fir because it has neuroprotective qualities and it acts like a restraint against that overactive electrical activity. I think that's really fascinating. She also reminded us that seizures can have an emotional component. So balsam fir is soothing, calming, and grounding. So that's the emotional piece of it. So it makes sense that it would be helpful with the brain when there's seizure activity. But she wants, I think this is a really great description of seizures. At the very base level, a seizure is your brain going offline. So the trauma and the burden of an emotional scar that causes the brain to go offline, like a grand mal seizure, you would use balsam fir, okay, on the brain stem, maybe preventatively, and help with that trauma. So it soothes sensory irritation on all levels. So if you have somebody that's like jangled, right, you want to use dilute some balsam fir and rub it on their spine, back of their neck, give them a little hug. So anyway, finally, it's super cleansing. So you can make a natural cleaner out of it. I don't know why it's only in a 5 milliliter bottle and we only get it for free because it's an LTO. So I would be like about using and cleaning, but they suggested wild orange and balsam fir in a spray bottle with water as one of the best smelling kitchen cleaners of all time.
Jessica Jacob Travis, step aside. Melissa Werner is here. Okay, thank you, Mom. Susan, talk to us about guaiac wood.
Hey guys. As you can see, I was antsy. I'm totally like moving. My face was all red. I do not like when it's all red. I'm like, what's going on? So anyway, don't mind me. Caitlin was helping me. So guaiac wood, this month it is 10% off. I love studying about these oils because some of these are not so common, like there's things in my cart every month, lemon, orange, all the stuff, but this isn't in my cart all the time, but interesting. So it would be described as an earthy smell with a subtle hint of sweetness, which I think is really interesting. So kind of bouncing off of what Melissa was talking about with firs, right? I think of the whole conversation of forest bathing, which I think will be maybe coming up in our discussion a little bit later. But with most of the earthy aromas, they have like this sense of grounding. And so I really like that. It's different than our citrus, which is what I usually like. I cling to citrus. I like citrus. But this is a little bit different. And I think it resonates with some of our customers and whatnot. So a sense of grounding. This oil can be used both topically and aromatically in the diffuser. This earthy or woodsy scent, if you will, can lend itself to a calming and more tranquil atmosphere. So, I mean, quite honestly, that sounds really good about now. It's produced through steam distillation and is blended with a FCO. It's sourced in Paraguay. So this was kind of cool. This is the part I really like researching a little bit. So sourced from Paraguay. It supports the skin's natural hydration. And I have to laugh because when I think of Paraguay, I think of like Miss America pageant and how beautiful people are. And so it makes sense like that it would support your skin for hydration. So it originates from the Gran Chaco forest in Paraguay, which is the second largest forest in Latin America. And sadly, it's becoming rapidly what they said deforested. Potato chips. So deforested. So that's really concerning because it's used in a lot of perfumes. So that's kind of why it's going away so quickly. And so the question I guess I first asked was why use it at all? And truthfully, doTERRA chooses partners who are committed to sustainable sourcing. So I love that part of, again, as we keep looking at, you know, our oils and what we're talking about, I love the sustainable sourcing. So the trees, it was kind of cool. I almost sent this picture to you ahead of time, but if you see a cross section of it, it's got like this bluish center if you slice through it, which it just like all this oil is in there. And so one of the things I think is cool is there is quick regrowth with the trees, but only 2 trees per acre are harvested every 20 years. And so, I mean, obviously these are really tall trees and you can pull a lot of oil from them, but still, they really try to be very careful. So, doTERRA's oil is 90% sesquiterpene oil, alcohols, which is different from some others, as it contributes to the synergistic effect of other essential oils with it. So I think that's really kind of cool. Some people describe it as having like a distant hint of rose. So we've already mentioned that. People use it when they're doing yoga or for any other relaxation. So I just think that was, thank you for letting me to learn a little bit about it. So yeah. And Amy, you said you use it morning and night on your wrists and forearms because it smells like a perfume to me. Yeah, exactly right. So I love the fact that we can use pure fumes. So
Thank
thanks,
you,
guys.
Susan. Thank you. Okay, Laura Witt, 200 PV promo.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. I feel like I'm on a clandestine operation here. I have no internet at home. I ran over to church and now I forgot my charging cord and my battery's almost dead. So I'm running out to my car, hoping to plug in there.
Do you want us to come back to you or do you want to just go for it?
I want to go for it.
Okay.
But just give me. So anyway, I get to talk about the 200 PV freebie, which is so cool. doTERRA doesn't do it all the time, but when they do, it's really intentional and it's so cool this month. So it's all about the adaptive, right? And give me a second here to start my car so I can charge. I know Susan had internet issues tonight too. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so with the 200 PV order, you get, not only do you get the adaptive blend, but you get adaptive bath oil, which I'm super excited about. And this month especially, October brings change. It's the change of seasons. And what better time to use your adaptive because it supports you during stressful moments and during seasons of change. So here we have the change in seasons in October and we love it. We love fall, but you know, change can be stressful. And so get out your adaptive. I really like the idea that it pairs really, really well with the convention kit because your convention kit is 200 PV. And so with the 200 PV, you're going to get the adaptive oil blend and this bath oil. And so if one of the things in the convention kit is your whole sleep system now. with the new and improved Serenity and the Serenity Stick and stuff. So now you've got the bedtime down. Why not get ready for bed by taking a bath with your Adaptive bath oil? So I just think it's a really good pairing. It'll be a calming way to lead into bedtime. And I'm just super excited to try it. I think your customers are going to love it. A little bit about Adaptive. It has a bright, sweet, citrusy, and floral aroma. It helps create a tranquil environment, and it just can enhance the atmosphere for everyone in the room when you diffuse it. A little bit about that oil. Again, it's sweet and citrusy. It promotes calmness and relaxing atmosphere as you bathe. It can soften, hydrate, and nourish your skin. I love that. It kind of creates like a little bit of a milky bath. Now, I don't have it yet. I put in my order yesterday. I can't wait to get it, but that's the description I read about it. And it just adds to your bedtime routine. So this promotion is good anytime during the month. You can order you can order 200 PV up to 4 times, and you could get 4 of those deals if you're really sold on Adaptive and want that bath oil. All right, that's what I have for you about the 200 PV order.
Thanks, Laura Whip. My mom just gave me an Adaptive bath oil last night, and I used it for the girls tonight after a hot day in park and everything before I put them to bed. And they were both, sometimes as they've gotten bigger and I put them both in the tub to move things along, like they still kind of like, they feel it's relaxing, and they're like, it's like chaos because they're so big, and they just kind of like curled around. And like they didn't even like really spread out, and they just like played, and it was like very peaceful. And so that was really nice, and they wound down really nicely for bed. And it's milky, but it's very relaxing. I was relaxed just helping them. So I do think that's a great promo. So I was just thinking that was a great point about the convention kit. And if you're strategic and do it on an LRP before the 15th, you get everything, all the promos we've just talked about. So there's definitely some strategy involved in that. So the kit, I want to give you a couple quick stats on the kit. So the post-convention kit is available. It's $275. Remember that the savings is $82.50, which I think is great. You're getting like all the new products in there. You won't get there's a couple things that you won't get, like the recharge, the new MetaPower stuff and some things like that, but it's still a very nice kit. And then the individual launch dates that kind of start, like a bulk of the individual products were available as of yesterday. So like the Forest Bathing, the Blue Lotus, the Spearmint toothpaste, Supermint toothpaste, Serenity soft gels, and Serenity stick. October 15th is when the Birch is, and then the PB, the ProBiome products are November 1st. With MetaPower Recharge in January of 2024. So it's kind of staggered. Did everyone catch my explanation of, remember when they said we would get PB products discounted if we had them on our LRP template? Did anyone catch that? And so that's still a thing, but because the PB products aren't available until November 1st, you're not going to see that loyalty perk offered until November and December LRP orders. So there's a little bit of a delay on that.
So you need to had it in September and October in your carts to get it for November, December discount.
Nope. I think that what it was like July or August that you needed to have it in.
But they moved it.
Oh, they extended that too.
Well, they moved it because they moved the launch, so that now it's September, October, so that you get the discount when it launches November, December. They want you to have it for 2 months.
Okay. I missed that. And then the sleep system we talked about already, but it's $66 for that cute little purple box, which is kind of the coolest. It kind of hurt me to recycle it. You're saving $18.50. And then this is something that I missed. The updated sleep system will also come with the opportunity to add a diffuser at a discounted price. So your options are, as Jerry mentioned, I think in the chat, the Pebble diffuser, which will be only $22.50, or the La Luz, that's that glass one. which would be 38. So I just think that's kind of helpful to know what's going on with that. You are going to get an even more discounted kit if you go to one of the post-convention tour events. I can put the link in the chat in a minute here. It got buried somewhere, but they're already happening. They're already going. So watch what's going on and see if you can catch one or connect a customer who lives in a different state to one. And so those are happening and wonderful. Who has seen the new training course? Yeah, Mom, what do you want to say?
Did you guys see how many people enrolled at one of the events they just had? So 44 people out of like 88 enrolled. There was like some, it was like
Even more.
half.
It was like 40 out of 60 enrolled.
It was crazy, crazy at one of the first post convention events.
The new training courses are at like training.doterra.com, or might be swapped. The ProBiome one, you're going to learn about PB, the new PB products. I did that one. I thought it was really good. And there's a Serenity one too that will walk you through that new system. So pay attention to those. They're free and they're helpful, and go at your own pace. Melissa, you really want to tell us about MetaPower Recharge tonight? Yes.
Yeah, I can do that really fast. If you got your hands on any of those little liquid packets of the MetaPower Recharge, which is an electrolyte solution, Miranda talked about it last time, amazing, when we were giving it away. I want to encourage you to make sure that you take it right, that you teach people how to take it right. I have done a lot of research. I played with it myself, and I've discovered that you have to shake and like squish that little sleeve, it's liquid in there, for about 60 seconds. Shake it, mush it around. Then you put it in your shaker bottle. You add your 16 ounces of water, 16 ounces. You shake it for a little while, and then you drink it. You won't have any issues at all with it not dissolving, but that's the two-step process. So we'll talk about it again when it comes out in November or January.
The holiday item brochure is live. Pay attention to it. Start making your list. There's some really intriguing stuff. I didn't notice the diffuser on there, which I'm like not complaining. I just kind of had a moment for that. Yeah, I don't know. Did I see one? So anyway, one of my oil leader friends, Tanya Ferguson, is like the #1. Her team out of every doTERRA team in the company sells the most holiday products. I don't know what she does or how she does it. We should like invite her to share. So there's a lot of excitement around it. Pay attention to what's going on with that. Those will launch November 1st. Did I ask somebody to share about the LTOs, or is that me? Nope, that's me. There are so many promotions going on this month. It's just like, here are all the things. But I think the LTO, the Hygge blend is very exciting. That's one of the offerings, just a 15 mil of it. And that's going to be 32. But the Hygge blend with the mist wall, the plug-in diffuser, is that, to me, that diffuser holds a lot of appeal. So that set is $58.50 to get that bundle. So those are both well supplies last. But again, there's a lot of buzz around that mist wall diffuser. I've really loved mine. So be sure to be talking to your customers about that. There's a couple other trainings that are coming up that doTERRA is doing. One is all about the Refer a Friend program. Each session is going to be approximately 60 minutes, and there's like a 2-part series. There's one in October, one in November. And so you can, I actually have the registration links for those right here, and they're going into the chat. So it really is a great tool. So Empowered Success is to happen tonight, so catch the recording, but it was all you need to know about convention and more. Remember, Justin's webinars is where you can find all those. I wanted to say a big thank you to all the people who have been doing Level Up Your Life classes so far. I'm super grateful for it. Coming up this month, we've got Susan, Murr, Laura Whip, and then Jerry. So be watching Saturday mornings, and those will be rolling out. And I think it's good that we're doing a fall run of those. October 16th is our monthly call. It's Unsung Heroes, which is a topic that we've done before, but it's a topic that like has a lot of variety in it, because there are so many oils that are unsung heroes. So it always is a little bit different. I put the sign-up sheet in the, celery seed is a good point. I don't know why that double copied. Well, anyway, that was bad. I'll put it in the text. any oil you want to put on there really outside of the top 10 is fair game. So just pick an oil and make it an unsung hero and get after it. Okay, there's a couple of people who are going to speak for us tonight just based on like you did something cool or we've got questions for you about how you did that. We want to replicate it. So I think we're going to go right over to Laura Whip first, who had some really great customer connections. And she's going to share with us how she did that.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Amy. I have to say, first of all, that the inspiration came from Melissa for this. She just inspired me with thinking about ways to reach out to my customers and provide another touch, but to do so without spending a lot of money on postage. So I really believe that it takes a lot of touches to serve a customer well. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a lot of work or money or even time for that matter. So what I did was I just brainstormed of all the stuff that I already had in my home that would mail very well in a business-sized envelope. And I thought about each customer. First of all, I divided my customers into categories. Who's already ordering 100 PV? I just want to thank them, reach out, send them a personal note, thank them for their faithful ordering every month, and send them a little something that might be valuable, add value, to that. And then my next category was people who are on an LRP, but aren't at 100. So they order every month, and I want to really appreciate them too. And then the next category is people who are not on an LRP, but they do order every couple of months. They'll put in an order. So the way I did that is I looked at what I had. I had some brochures, some laminated cards that I've purchased over the years, some A to Z quick reference guides. And then I also purchased those little sachets that you can put several drops of oil in and then seal them up with your curling iron or your flat iron. And all those things could go in an envelope and just regular postage on that envelope. What I think is super important, though, is to write a personal note. So when I use my project broadcast, people are receiving a text. Sometimes I meet people in person. Sometimes we have a phone call or a Zoom call. But I think a personal note really goes a long way to appreciating a customer. And so I enclosed a personal note. I had some really inexpensive note cards made up with just a photograph of me that a very sweet friend treated me to a little photo session and took some shots, and I picked a few out, had them put on little note cards, and I just write a little note to that customer, make it personal, and then shipped them off, just something that I thought that would be useful for them. And I received a lot of feedback, actually. So it was really nice. I got some texts, some Facebook messages, but 3 or 4 out of the 60 customers that I did this for, 3 or 4, it was 4, wrote me a personal note in the mail, which was like really special. So I know that it impacted them, and I try to do something like this at least a couple of times a year. So that's just something for you to think about. Reach out personally to me if you want any more ideas or have questions.
Thanks, Laura Whip. That's awesome. Laura Shields, could you tell us a little bit about your Shine event at the chiropractor?
Yeah, so I did a Shine Aroma Touch Day. So my chiropractor, she was doing kind of a birthday celebration for her business, has been open for now for 7 years. So she is so fun. She does a little birthday celebration. So she had different people that she wants to also support and invite into her space. So she had somebody doing massages, she had some giveaways, she did some different things, and then asked me to come and do Aroma Touch hand massage. So I also kind of had the help of Amy and Melissa to help me do this, but I have some cards that they've lent me to use that have different areas of oils to use. So some things for oils for grounding, oils for uplifting, or I think I did respiratory this time. And I think there was another one in there, maybe like tension relief, right? Chiropractor's office. So I think I was thinking along that lines. So I brought just those handful of oils and laid them out there. And so I just had my own little corner where I could offer hand massages to people as they come in. And I would say most every time that we have done this, this is my, well, I don't know, third or fourth time probably doing it. I think it's really well received. I think people are very welcoming to the idea of getting a little massage, a little bit of that personal touch, even before or after their chiropractor's adjustment and appointment as well. So it was a super fun environment to be in, and just really relaxed. I think people are getting also more accustomed to me being there now a couple times. So I think even if somebody has said no before, like, no, don't touch me, even now they're more so willing to opt in for that. So this time doing it, it was very successful. And I think going into it, I was my own self of just a little apprehensive about it or not sure. It's always a little bit of extra work, right? Pouring into people and getting ready to do the things. But I was just so blessed by just the connections that I was able to have with some ladies that day, and was able to, just sit and connect with them. I really love that I can just sit and talk to somebody, for those 3 minutes and really hear a little bit about their personal story. It's amazing what people will open up about. Not everybody, but some. One lady, especially too, I could see her come in and she was just like scattered, like her brain was going 100 miles an hour. She was just like pinballing all over the place. And she decided to sit down for an aroma touch, and she picked out cedar wood. And I tell you, within just less than 30 seconds of her smelling it and then me massaging it, her whole body just physically like relaxed. And I was like, even myself, like just kind of staring in awe of like, I can't believe this. And like all of a sudden she's like, I don't know what you're doing, but I am so relaxed. I have not been this relaxed in forever. And so just really sweet to care for people that way, but also that, just that connection to introduce them to an oil experience that they are completely unfamiliar with. So very blessed with that. A couple other little tips that I do to just try to, have that connection after the massage is I usually have a little card that I have them fill out that it's a register for a giveaway, because my chiropractor was also doing giveaways. So that was a little introduction of like, can I have your name and your number, and write down like what oil did we use for your massage today, and as we discussed, like what are some of the things that we talked about and things that I can follow up with you about. So going away from there, I think I had 8 to 10 ladies that I was able to follow up with. Not everybody was, ready to, purchase oils right away. They either had some, but they were interested in classes that I might teach later, or they want to be on my, my project broadcasting text to know what classes are coming up, what product promotions are going on. But another way to just stay connected that way. And then for giveaways, I have still a couple, not too many now. I kind of hope they do this again. Some of those like samples. Do you guys remember when they did like these lotions and like the deep blue? I'm like almost out of them, which is sad. But I've really loved those. So I hope that they do that again and that we have an opportunity to kind of restock. I don't know if you guys know if anything like that is coming down the road soon. But those have been really handy, like giveaways for sure. And trying to think, of little things that are a nice little easy entryway into the oil world. But I would say almost all of my conversations were definitely like, oh yeah, I have some oils here or there, but I don't know what to do with them. They're just kind of sitting around, or I would never, like they would never, I bring up the idea of like ingesting or taking them for health, and they're like, oh no, I would never do that. So there's the education piece that I feel like, right, that we've talked about before, that is really missing of, you're right, I would not ingest those oils that you might have or that you are maybe having at home, but let me show you something that actually really works well, that is completely safe for you to use for health benefits and safe to ingest, certain ones like that. So the education piece, I think, is really what I've seen people craving. So I think that's all that I have this time.
Thanks, Laura. You're great at those events. Mom, do you have a
Can we
question?
ask 2 questions? Jerry had a question. How long is your hand? How long is that? 3 minutes?
The AromaTouch hand massage, not quite even. I think it's less than. It kind of just depends on the person. And when I'm doing it in her office, some ladies are willing to sit for a long time as they're waiting for their appointment, and others need to be a little bit more quicker if they're ready to go. So I kind of read the person as well. If they're opening up and talking to me, I kind of generally take a little bit longer so we can finish our conversation. If I can tell that they're ready to go to their next appointment and kind of keep going with their day, I move along pretty quick. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think one of the things that I noticed that I think you're good at, that I really have lost my feel for, is letting people know somehow that they can buy the oils from me. I feel like I have tons of touch points with people all the time, and I feel like we talk about it and they walk away, and I've neglected to close the loop and be like, hey, I can be your oil lady, just anything. I don't know. I have to practice that again, because I saved some lady's life 2 weeks ago who was having a horrible coughing attack, and I walked away and I thought, well, she just thought, oh, that lady rubbed oils on me. I got better.
Mm.
So
Listen, I liked what you did Saturday morning, and I thought that was great. Where you put in towards the end about supporting business and how did that. And I think that's a great idea to do that on the Saturday morning too. I mean, there's could be people on there, but you're so right. We educate them in things like that. I forget to say, hey, I can be oil. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Laura. You answered my question too. It's a great idea.
Thanks, Laura. When I give one at Shine, it's about 10 seconds long. Little pat, 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 get out of here. Hope you're
I hope you're relaxed. Are you relaxed?
You should have picked Laura. Learn your lesson. Okay.
Fine.
Moving on. Okay, Monica has some classes coming up and she's gonna share about those with us.
Sure, yeah. So Laura Whip and I are actually doing a couple classes together, and the idea of this is actually just super practical for me. First of all, they're making takes, so we're going to do one at the end of the month, which is kind of more like private, some people that I know, and mainly from Laura and I from our church. But I just when I think about it, what do I want to learn and what can I take with me? And then again, like you said, that contact point of connecting. I make a lot of my own stuff. I use my own a lot to make DIY stuff. So that was the practical part. But the other practical part was I just have these things around the house. My mother is a rummage seller, and we're doing a foaming hand wash. She did 10 of them for like $5 or whatever. So there's like a bag of them in, my basement. And then the other one is we're going to do a cleaning spray, all-purpose cleaning spray. The dollar store used to have them. I don't see them too much anymore, but they're like really thin, tall. They're actually metal ones. I have not seen them recently, but when we do, like my mother, my daughter, and I all buy them out. So I have another bag of those. So it was actually super practical. Like, how can we use these and actually, give them to people and educate and then do all the things and get rid of the stuff in my basement. So it was a super practical thing for the one coming up. And then in November, Laura and I are going to do 2 events like Christmas gifts, make and takes. And this we'll advertise bigger. So we're talking about that. We're, again, a bunch of kind of classic things, also a few new things. We're talking about basically like, if you're going to do 1, it's this charge, or 3, 4, whatever. How many you do is based on price, because that one will be a charge for sure. So one of those would be on a Saturday, and the other one's Thursday night. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I've given gifts the last several years to people, and they really seem to like them and use them. So, and I know that because they ask more. Sometimes they're like, do they use it? But they always come back and say, hey, what did you do? And can I get more of that? So, so I'm really excited about that one. That should be a fun Christmas gifts for people. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Monica. I also have to check my calendar. If you are local, and for the ones that Monica feels comfortable, and Laura Witt passing that on, but are we on the private list? I'm not sure. Did we make the church list? Probably not. Could we keep Amy out of that group? Okay, thank you, Monica. Sarah McCord, tell us a little bit about what you've got going on up in the UP. She's having technical issues.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, thank goodness. Because last time I did my video, that didn't work. I'm a hot mess these days. I don't know what happened to me. I turned 50 and all my wires short circuited. So anyways, I opened up my new business. I had my official ribbon cutting in August. It's called Northwoods Mindful Healing. So I've been using oils and stuff continually, but I stepped away from education and kind of being out there. And now I've added to the oils, and I'm doing sound healing and Reiki and some chakra work and working with crystals and things of that nature. So this was like the perfect opportunity for me to get back into the oil world as well. So I dusted off the Itovi. So that's been fun. I use that in my intake sessions. And then tonight, for the first time, probably literally in over 2 years, I gave an aroma touch. So it was so good to be reconnected with that. And it is a service I offer with the new business. I've not had anybody take me up on it until tonight. And when I did it, it was just like riding a bike. You know what I mean? So that felt really good. So having that out there again, I was super excited about, and I just happened to have this sleek little display that holds my aroma touch oils. So that very fun. So it's just I haven't re-engaged really on the business aspect of it yet. There's just like a lot of moving parts for me right now getting this up and running. But it's called Essentials on the 8th. So that gives me some flexibility. So either on the 8th, the 18th, or the 28th, I will do a free oils class in my space. And flexibility is clearly what I need because I'm all over the map. So I will post it on my business page that it's there. And we're just kind of catering it. We're starting out with newbie stuff. Then I'll kind of focus in. Then I'm thinking maybe I'll just do the ABCs of oils and literally just go through and do a series of alphabetical oils, just kind of go through some of those things. So it's kind of fun. And a little bit is on the fly because it's like September flew by and I was like, oh, I guess my class is going to have to be on the 28th because I've missed the 8th and the 18th. So that may be a pattern. We'll see. But it's good to be re-engaged. I'm really enjoying the additional modalities of the sound healing and the Reiki and working with crystals and chakras and the oils. Like it's kind of a seamless circle of really cool stuff. And I'm excited that people are seeking it out and new people are coming in. And sometimes we use the Itovi. Sometimes we just have a conversation. Like one of my clients came in and she was just kind of having an angry day. And I was like, okay, so we just did some geranium. I let her put geranium over her liver because I didn't have any rose in my office, but just kind of fine tuning and going with the flow a little bit and always diffusing in my space. That's always a big hit. So I'm just super excited to kind of be back engaging people using the oils and adding these other modalities, like I said, and just trying to just integrate from one into another. And I think so far, so good. So I'm excited. Thanks, guys.
Sarah, thank you for sharing. I love that you did an aroma touch. That to me is so special. So thank you for sharing all that. I love it. All right, Miranda, take us home.
Yeah, girl. Okay. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to go like two different directions. One's going to be just a cool experience I had at convention. And then I'm going to end with maybe journal prompt or thought prompt. We'll just call it thought prompt. So it was really neat. I really appreciated, thank you, Kelly Keating. Thank you, Kelly Keating, because we were in the product showcase. And if you've been in convention, you know what I'm saying. If you haven't been to convention, doTERRA lets us experience, goodness, the amazing products like we get to experience them, hands, touch, taste, smell, feel, whatever. And there was so many I could talk about, but this one that was super special to me was Kelly's like, we need to go to the Zen room. And I'm like, I don't need no Zen room. And she's like, we need to go to the Zen room. And I'm like, fine. So she gets in line, except for no, yeah, Aim. I know, because I walked away because too many people were crowding because they're kind of cray there. Okay. They're all like, dude, like, anyway, so basically Kelly's like, I'll go get in line because I was going to talk to Dr. Nicole about something. And so she got in line and I cut in line, and that's my confession, and it's all good because it would have took a while. And you get to, first of all, it was neat that doTERRA is like, let's say nobody ever meditated before or hung out or like understood, I guess, mindfulness or something, or relaxed. How about that? Right? Like, let's say nobody ever did that. I love how they give them an opportunity to experience that, because to me, they're leading from the front. They're like, hey, this is what we like, healthy lifestyle, or this is what we're sharing with you, a healthy lifestyle. Let's promote this. And I loved it. Not only that, conventions, period, travel and all that is busy and stressful. So it's really neat to take like a cool break. You got to go and pick one of the oils, and I can't remember if there was a sign or on your phone. You picked, so I picked Shirin-yoku, but you pick that or Balance the Cedarwood or things like that, and then you pick on your phone. So there must have been an app or something. Yeah, that must have been. Anyway, they gave directions to be able to pick like sand and waves, or waves and rain, or heavy rain, and all the things. So first you pick that, then you pick the oil of your choice. Then you got a headset if you needed them, and then I walked into this room. Okay, very relaxing. We're talking maybe 50 to 60 people basically meditating, laying on mats, couches everywhere. Anyway, they wanted, but they were like, stay quiet. Like, you don't get to interrupt anybody's stuff. So basically I was like, this should be interesting. I'm more of a little private person. But long story short, I really liked how they lead from the front. They're like, here we go. You're awesome. We would have dragged you in. So that stressful thing. And then we would have shut. Anyway, so basically I was hesitant, guys, because we have 50 to 60 people doing the whole chill thing. And I'm obviously spiritually understanding what's going on. Now I will save all the information of what happened to me, but, and I wasn't going to say this, but I will say this because, wow, is there a spiritual element, and is there a spiritual element to oils? I believe so. So basically I use a Shirin-yoku, I lay down for wind and waves. There's lots of people around me and I'm aware of the spiritual stuff, atmosphere. And I'm like, oh Lord, because everybody's from all walks of faith here. But let's just say I closed my eyes and immediately I actually had an encounter with Jesus. And I won't go into detail because it's holy ground for me, but he was talking to me about my dad. And it was super, super powerful. And I got some healing there. I like totally got healing. And it's like, I was appreciative of doTERRA to open that space up for us. And I definitely opened my eyes once in a while to be like, is anyone levitating? And I didn't see anybody, but here's me. Cause like, I love the spiritual stuff, but I'm like, dude, so that was special. I'm going to shift over to, and if you get to experience a convention, no, you're fine. I don't care. If you get to experience convention, do it. It will change your life. Super awesome to experience product showcase, all the senses. All right, so I'm going to shift soups quick to a book. I was doing something this weekend and I got this book in my hands, and I don't see the label or the title, it doesn't matter, but the author described creativity, I would say it with me, but you don't have to, creativity in this really cool definition. Okay, he defined creativity as an endless experimentation without judgment or criticism. And then it basically semicolon play. And I guess I want to just encourage you guys, because I'm doing that as well, to press into like your creative level or your creative gifts. And the question I'm going to ask you is, what's your relationship with creativity? What's your relationship with creativity? Or think about this obviously in the next couple months, and especially as we move into October. Yeah, it's like slow down, chill, whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that's a really good time to press into wreath. You guys, I encourage you, do a class on wreath making or whatever. Do painting, like look up local stuff, painting, do something. And we love Linz and Laura for this, right? Linz is the queen of creativity, people. And again, it's like that fun, light spirit and kid-like spirit she has too. So she fits it. We love you, Lindsay. But when it comes to play, where could you play more in your life? And I would challenge everyone, they could play more in their life. I know I can play more. Now kids help us with that, right? But I love my people. So where can you play more? And have you, and here's like one that might be a little somber. Have you laid down any creative gifts or creative like gifts in your life ever? Have you ever laid them down and it's time to pick them back up again? That probably might hit home for somebody. Now, some things might not come back, but you can have it in a different way. And you know what? You like creative. So are you open? That should have been my first question. Are you open to exploring your creative gifts? Let's say that's first. Are you open to exploring your creative gifts? Great. If you are, let's lean in. But I just proposed to you, like, we all could use some more play and creativity in our life. What does that open up though? I mean, I won't go into teaching this, but creativity using those parts of your brain really opens up other areas of intention setting, goals, creating, smashing your goals, like, or getting through your goals, like, you know what I'm saying? Maintaining and whatever in your goals. So I just wanted to say, let's, you know, focus or whatever on creativity for the next couple months or the rest of the year, actually the rest of your life, yeah. And here's a creativity diffuser blend. I hope it's still on. I copied it and pasted it. Oh, good. That obviously I picked up online, not mine, but I love bergamot. So if I were to go off the top of my head, oils for creativity, tangerine would actually came up. The oil of creativity, I might have learned that at some point. You can do tangerine in one of this, the lime, grapefruit or tangerine. I'm just good with that, or lime, but I love tangerine for this. But in Frank, I would say too, helps open things up. We know that. So I like this as just, here's one, but use the oils that you're like before you roll with creativity, or actually to help stimulate it. Bergamot, lime, cinnamon, grapefruit, yummy. I'm totally going to do this during homeschool and for me. So I wanted to share that. Is there anything else I wanted to say? No, just I encouraged you about the creativity thing. Did you write the questions down? Nobody wrote the. So remember, what's your relationship with creativity? We dropped that. Boom. And where could you play more in your life? And then are you open to exploring your creative gifts?
Mer, thank you. That was really good. $100. Melissa's gonna go start scrapbooking again. That's what it was. I knew it. I knew it. She was like nodding, and I was like, scrapping. She be scrapping, my friends, which I would be probably really good. Thank you, everyone. This was wonderful. I'll post some of these things into the team app, so pay attention over there. I appreciate you all very much. Thanks for putting up with me, and we'll see you soon in October. All right. Peace.